What's happening, everybody? I'm back. It's me, your resident supervillain, Mr. J. Washington, and I'm here with my review for Season 1, Episode 6 of She-Hulk Attorney at Law on Disney+. If you have not seen it yet, come on back because it will be spoilers. Thank you, everybody who's been rocking with the 5. I always feel like I need to do the preamble. Thanking you because you could be watching a bunch of other shit on YouTube and everybody else, but you choose to come to your resident supervillain. You choose to come to the dude who tries to keep it a buck with y'all, with everything. And I much appreciate it. I really, really, truly do. I'm pulling up something on my phone because I also took some pictures with my phone because I wanted to make sure I had everything I needed to have. It starts out, Jen getting the box, you know what I'm saying, invited to be a bridesmaid. Of course, the box explodes, everything. You can see, you know what I'm saying, she's like reluctant and she's packing her stuff, her clothes. And Nikki's still trying to see the suit. Again, we know that Luke made the suit. The purple and white suit, the Marvel Studios version of it. We haven't seen it yet. We don't know when we'll see it. But like, she's packing another suit, and you know, Jen's like, "Oh, look at the dress he made for her." So he made a dress for, again, all of the clothes Luke now makes for Jen can be augmented to be both Jen and She-Hulk, and it, you know, that's superhero material. But I like the fact that Jen breaks the fourth wall and says, "Yes, this is a self-contained episode. And if you think that's happening at the inconvenient time, you're right, because that's how weddings are." And it's the truth. Anybody that's ever gone to a wedding, you know, or been invited to a wedding, it many times is an inconvenient time for you. Like, things might not be going the way you want them to go. So she shows up as She-Hulk. Of course, she thinks everybody wants to see her as She-Hulk. Shows up, and then Lulu is like, "Yo, this is my day. Don't be here like this, blah, 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 blah." She was like, "The one day I just, you know, I didn't want to be just Jen." And the title card says Just Jen, Attorney at Law, which, again, I brought it up last week with the She-Hulk by Titania, how the title cards keep changing every week and it keeps fitting the motif of the episodes. Again, it's a sitcom. At the end of the day, it's a sitcom. Bruh, I didn't know how much I was going to laugh with this episode, with the B plot, with getting the introduction of Mr. Immortal. Also, before I go any further, I want to send my thoughts and condolences to my homeboy MT from New Rockstars, because this is the clip we all saw in like the trailer from what was going to happen. We thought that this was Frogman, and I know MT thought this was Frogman, and he been pumped up on Twitter and everything. It was like, "Frog Squad, let's go." And turns out it's not, because Mr. Immortal is talking to Mallory and Nikki, and he's talking about getting divorced. And instead of having a conversation with his wife, he said he ran out in the rush hour traffic because he can't die. He legally dies, but he comes back to life. He said, dude, he's sort of like, "Yo, this is the most inconsiderate way to end a marriage." And then you got Nikki and Mallory berating him, right? So much to the point this nigga jumps out the window and dies. When I tell y'all, I was in this bitch hollering because you didn't expect it. It was like it was told, you were given the clue that he could do something rash, but you didn't know my man was finna leap out the damn window. And then he goes. So then we go back to the wedding. Lulu's talking to Jen, telling her she don't have a man, don't feel bad. She's gonna be with somebody. She's gonna be walking with Jonathan. Jonathan wasn't there yet. And Jen, like, she don't feel bad. But then Titania shows up. And Titania, you know, Jen is like, "Yo, you really trying to do this here? Like, yo, I won that legal battle fair and square, et cetera, et cetera." Titania's like, "Yo, I'm here as a date with the friend of the groom." You know, but low-key, we all know it's up to something. Going back to the B story in the courtroom. Like, 9 or 10 of this man's exes is there. It's like 9 women and 1 guy. And you find out they've all known him under different names and aliases. One called him Paul. One is Spencer because he got Spencer Jr. One was named Artie. That was with guys for $10,000 on a New Orleans style jazz funeral. Then brought up Intelligencia, a website where they found it was like, and then they said this is the website for the site for hateful man babies. And that was the dude, she was known as Roger then. And he was about ready to, when they were all coming at him, he was about ready to jump out the window again when they was about to get settled. They had to stop Nikki and Mallory, had to calm his ass down. We go back to the wedding and come to find out that Jen wasn't invited sincerely. She wasn't invited to be a part of it because they went to high school together. Clearly, they treated her like shit in high school, and so what? She's She-Hulk. Jen is still treated like shit as an adult. They made her pick up trash and stuff, making her iron groomsman shirts. Some of they got a wrinkle playing Mario Kart. And it's just one dude on like his phone playing, and it's and you've had these stories happen. People who no matter where they elevate in life in their careers, they still are treated like shit. And you find out. So we knew that I think it was Jen's cousin was DJ Ched. This mall calls himself DJ Incredible Hulk. I was like, this has got to get funnier, because it's gonna be stupid already when somebody is like that saying they're DJ Incredible Hulk. Stuff happens. It was going back and forth, and I took a lot of notes. If you notice what I'm looking down, the fact Jen gets drunk at the wedding, it's a cash bar, and she keeps drinking. Now remember, we know that as regular Jen, she gets drunk like normal people. But when she's She-Hulk, she can just take so much alcohol, like her body will just burn it off faster. But back in the legal conference room of GLK and H, the settlement is happening, right? But Nikki is running everything, selling everything, making everything come down. And one of the restitutions with one of his ex-wives is that he has to have a sincere apology with meaningful eye contact for like 20 seconds. And it's great. But Jen meets this dude, Josh, he's a single guy. He's just hoping to meet somebody and goes to a wedding, flirts, and they start to kind of hit it off again while Jen is getting drunk. They're talking, flirting, and then she gets fucked up, so she got to go throw up. And while she's throwing up, Titania looks like she's trying to console her, kicks her dead in the face. And then Jen doesn't want to, she's reluctant from turning because she told Lulu she was going to be just normal Jen Walters through the wedding. And she's trying to turn, but she's so drunk she can't focus until all of a sudden she does and beats the brakes off Titania. Beats her ass so bad, Titania realizes she's getting recorded. Remember, I told y'all, Titania is the MCU's Kim Kardashian. She's a high-level influencer, right? Titania's getting embarrassed that she's seeing people recording her live stream. She's like, you stream me your 17 followers, et cetera, et cetera. She tries to charge Jen, slips on some ice, and smashes her veneers. And she is pissed and leaves. But the best part was Chet was like, we got a wedding fight! And starts playing It's Electric Boogie. I don't know about y'all, but the two of them fighting with the DJ doing that reminded me of Iron Man 2 when Rhodey and Tony were fighting, and it was DJ AM at the time, and he was like, Ghosty, play a fat beat so I can whoop my friend's ass too. I was thinking about that. So after everything happens, they go and search the web. Mallory back in the GOK&H office, Mallory and Nikki are kind of celebrating everything that's going on. And so they are looking through things, and they go to their website, Intelligencia, and they see there's a She-Hulk thing, and so Slutty Hulk, and they go to it, and it's the Hulk King, and you gotta log in and register and stuff like that, and they do. And when they register, they see it's basically a cancel She-Hulk message board. And I bring that up because there's so much stuff in there. Like even Nikki, when she signed up, she wrote in the bio, actually, I beat myself here. So basically, yeah, long story short, I'm super into cryptocurrency and elk hunting, even though my last girlfriend dumped me over, but like, she was gross. She was 30. Ew. And she said that's actual stuff dude said to her on a real date. But so it gets worse. So I say it gets worse because unless you have to read these comments that on the message board because it gets real. And it also, yes, this is a superhero show. Yes, this is fiction. But also, one of the things this show has done, and I've talked about every single week, is it has brought up real things that real women in real life situations have dealt with. And I know people be like, well, I just want to escape life. And I don't want my art to reflect that. Art has always been reflective of stuff that goes on currently, whether you directly notice it or not. Now, there are a variety of things on the in the message board. Let me turn my phone so I can read these the right way. I'll probably try. Let me see if I can probably feed these in when I'm doing the editing. Says She-Hulk should be canceled. She discriminates against anyone who doesn't share her pathetic man-hating worldview. If she were a man, she'd be canceled about it. She'd be canceled already. Think about it. That was one of them. Then another one said, when you a Hulk was still dumb and did the pictures side by side. This was the one that really fucked me up when I read it. Someone just shoot She-Hulk. Why hasn't anyone already done this? It's not that complicated, bro. Kill the bitch already so we can move on. I'm sick of hearing about this bitch. There are things like this on actual message boards. Y'all think it's a game. How do we swat She-Hulk? Do standard police weapons kill her? Can we just swat her and get rid of her? How do we kill She-Hulk? She-Hulk, and this is the best one. She-Hulk, this is not the best one, it's one of the last ones. She-Hulk isn't even that strong. This is what it said. If She-Hulk and the Hulk got into a real fight, the Hulk would totally kick her butt, no questions asked. I don't know what I'd even do if I saw them fight, even though, LOL, I might have to get in the ring with them and beat up She-Hulk myself because she's not even that strong. Here's the funny thing. People have actually said stupid shit like this on message boards. And so when this happens, Nikki is like, yo, we should warn Jen about all this. These are actual threats on her life. And Mallory's like, no, they're not. They're just trolls. And if you acknowledge them, you give them what they want, the attention. But Nikki's like, yo, this is real. Now, again, we saw in the beginning of the episode, the flashback when somebody was trying to steal her blood. You know, and Bruce talking about her blood is disappearing. It's pop. You know, now that I've analyzed your blood, I need to destroy it. I am almost 100% certain that Tim Blake Nelson, a.k.a. the leader, is responsible for this. I have been saying this since that episode happened when they were trying to get her blood. I've been saying it's the leader. Before they announced at D23 he was coming back for Captain America New World Order, I am almost all but certain it's the leader. Because then after that, you know, Nikki calls her anyway, leaves a voicemail, and we see an office that is talking about Macro Lab studying her, and then a message pops up. Is the next phase set to go, Hulk King? So here's the thing, okay? Whoever they're talking about is trying to get more weapons to try to get Jen's blood, of course. In the comics, Mallory Book is a lawyer who despises Jen fully. She starts representing supervillains. Could it be that they're going to do a small extra shift and make her be a full-on villain helping to set up Jen? This is a possibility. But again, I still think it's the leader at the end of the day. Because Abomination was just a thing that just helped move the plot forward. Cool. I like that we ain't got Daredevil yet. And I like it because I know some people mad. Why we ain't getting Daredevil? A lot of people were like, we probably wouldn't get Daredevil this episode. And to those who said and I didn't agree, you were right, I was wrong. But I also like the fact we haven't gotten Daredevil because it's not about him. This isn't his show. He's going to be a cameo just like Wong, Abomination, everybody else, Bruce even. This is Jen Walter's show. So the main one we might get, if anything, is we'll get the leader, which I believe. I don't, because Titania is a threat, but I don't think Titania is a threat anymore. I think after this wedding situation, I think the threat of Titania is pretty much over after being embarrassed. Again, she is an influencer. She was embarrassed on social media, so that pretty much eliminates that. But I think it's the leader. Who else wants the Hulk blood that bad? I've been saying it since that episode had happened, and I will stick by my guns. I am almost 99.9% certain it is the leader doing this. And if it's not the leader, is there an Alistair Smythe working for Kingpin? We know Kingpin does exist. We have not met Alistair Smythe yet. We don't know if we're going to get him. Alistair Smythe is a genius that we know in this. Is there an Oscorp that we might have? You know, do we get an official Norman Osborn? Though there are different avenues and outlets, I understand that. Yes, there are different possibilities within this realm. But I'm going to stick with my Samuel Stearns, a.k.a. the leader. But out of the episode, 4 out of 5, as always, 4.5 out of 5 stars. I love the fact Titania had to bring up, you didn't even want to be She-Hulk. You don't even want it. So why were you mad, during the fight? But Jen is just trying to accept life as both Jennifer Walters and as She-Hulk. Now, we know in the comics, it gets to the point where she just is She-Hulk in everyday life. She doesn't change back. But also, we do understand when you have these movies, these comic book movies and TV shows, when you're getting this A-list level talent, you are going to see their real faces. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You are going to see their real faces. It is why we're seeing a lot of Ben Mendelsohn as Ben Mendelsohn in Secret Invasion. Okay? It is why we're seeing Pierce Brosnan's face as Dr. Fate. before he puts them helmet on in Black Adam. I'm using all those different things. You have this talent. You want to see their faces. While we're seeing a lot of Tatiana Maslany as Tatiana Maslany. That's why they don't care so much, for lack of better words, about the CGI. I know everybody's like, the CGI is not perfect. It's not meant to be. It's not meant to be perfect. And I know someone, well, it looks terrible. No, it doesn't. It serves the purpose for a sitcom. Remember, the superhero element of this show in itself, the superhero like fights and all that, is more so a B plot more than anything else. The A plot is the woman who has the abilities, who really has to learn how to accept them. And think about it. We don't see her do it much because she doesn't really want to embrace it. She's constantly trying to be accepted as just Jennifer Walters. And the way she's treated is like the little frumpy girl from high school and whatever. And like, again, we saw the clip back from the court case. If She-Hulk would have presented herself as Jennifer Walters, would you have been attractive? She's not really my type. Also, the conversation about dating in LA. Oh my God, it has come up. Now, I know we're hearing it from a lot of women's perspectives, and I brought it up. Dating in this shallow ass fucking town is almost impossible. I was telling a friend the other day, I'm at this point, I don't think I'll be in a relationship with anyone if I have to meet them in Los Angeles. Because trying to find someone, you either try to find someone on your level, you try to find somebody to match your level, meet your level. I've tried to deal with certain women comics out here because I feel like, we both in the same industry, so we'll both have the same struggles and understanding. But then you're like, oh, you dealt with a bunch of 20-some-year-old open micers before, and now you just jaded, but you dealt with dudes who sleep in 7 people in a 1-bedroom apartment and barely wash their ass. That's your bad decision. This ain't about me. Just want to vent. But overall, I want to know what you think, as always, about the episode down below. And I'm always going to continue to say it. Keep it civil. Keep it civil. And if we're 6 episodes in. Okay, before I go any further, we're 6 episodes in. There are 3 more episodes. If you feel like you want to comment the phrase, well, I just can't seem to get into it, then you are watching it just to be mad. You're 6 episodes in. Don't watch. And I know that might sound kind of harsh to say, but it's just real. It is 6 episodes in, and you're talking about, I just can't get to it. These episodes just don't. You're still watching it, though. You're watching it, setting yourself up for failure. You're 6 episodes in. 3 episodes, different ball game. 4, benefit of the doubt. 6, you know what you're doing. But keep it civil in the discussions. While you're at it, if you want to send a lot of love here on YouTube, besides that, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, share, click on the notification bell. There is the super thanks thing. You can do that. It really helps because this is like a job too. So you're like, hey, I love what you do. I want to show a little love and appreciation. Blah, blah, blah. And then I'll be like, oh my God, thank you so much. You help pay my internet bill for the month. Oh. But do that, please. Also, follow me on Twitter and Instagram and TikTok at Mr. J Washington, MRJAY. You should know how to spell Washington. The Mad Titan Podcast is back everywhere you get your podcast from. Check us out primarily on Spotify. Myself and my homie, my new co-host, BC, we are back every single week, man, getting you caught up on all the things happening in the Marvel and DC live-action cinematic universes. It is barbershop talk for nerds. Come on in the convo. I love how one person said, like, yo, it's like I'm just sitting down listening to 2 homies have a conversation on the phone. Because that's how I try to treat it every single week. I'm working on a new project with TK Trinidad. We're going to see how soon we can get that off the ground. But I thought we were going to get it off the ground quick. But things are changing in my schedule in the best way possible. So we'll see how that goes. Stay tuned for some more stuff. Also, American Gigolo is out on Showtime. If you have not seen it yet, check out episodes 1, 2, and by the time y'all catch this, 3 drops tomorrow. You'll see a certain person in episodes 2 and 3, and he'll make a return in episodes down the line. I'm a recurring character this season. So yeah, holla at y'all next week for episode 7. Hopefully y'all ain't still complaining about it, and if you're complaining. All right, take care. Bye.